The 2025 Superman movie definitely had the best adaptation of Lex Luthor in cinema, period. But I pretty much like that he had an equal focus in the movie, from having internet monkeys troll Superman online to opening up a pocket universe that almost tore the world in half. He's genuinely a top tier hater, which is just how his character needs to feel. Not like a goofy businessman or a cartoonish mad scientist. This is a version of Lex that actually felt dangerous and believable, not an antagonist who just throws punches, but takes time to study Superman so you can attack him without even touching him. And I hope DC will recapture this vibe in their up and coming movie in 2027. But before I jump to that, I'm actually going to start with why he worked at all.
Get your spectral sock out, nerds. It's gonna get good.
What makes this version of Lex stand out is how true it feels to his character. In the comics, Lex Luthor has always been more than just a rich guy with high technology. He's like walking dangerous human ambition at its peak. He pushes the belief that mankind doesn't need gods or aliens to guide or protect them. And that's exactly what Nicholas Holt's portrayal does completely right. He wasn't there to make you laugh like Gene Hackman's Real Estate Lex. He wasn't overthought and twitchy like Jesse Eisenberg's version. This Lex felt closer to the actual comic version, like All-Star Superman or Superman Birthright, polished and confident, but terrifying because his logic actually makes sense. You can almost understand why people would follow him in the first place.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
The brilliance with that is that he doesn't fight Superman with fists, he fights him with ideas and strategies. Superman represents hope, compassion, and selflessness, but Lex represents pride, control, and the belief that humanity should rise on its own. That tension goes all the way back to Action Comics, but this movie made it feel fresh again. Another thing that worked is the way his motivations were handled. In the comics, Lex doesn't always see himself as the villain. He usually believes he's the hero of the story. Superman is an intruder, an alien who undermines and slows humanity's potential by doing the impossible for us instead of making us do it ourselves. That's why in comics like Superman for All Seasons and Lex Luthor Man of Steel, his hatred for Superman almost feels justified in a very twisted way. This latest version definitely nailed that. He wasn't evil for the sake of it, he was calculated. Every move he made was to prove that Superman wasn't needed and the world should place its faith in men like him. That's why he worked so well. You could feel that his conflict with Superman wasn't about power, it was about philosophy. Superman inspires people with compassion and his selflessness, but Lex pushes for ambition and control. The mixed match energy here is what makes their rivalry perfect, and this movie definitely understood that. The good thing about this Lex is that he makes Superman better, believe it or not. A lot of villains test Superman's strength, but not a lot test his conviction. Lex forces Superman to question why he does what he does and whether humanity really wants his help. That's been their dynamic since the earliest comics. Superman can stop an alien invasion, but he can't stop the mistrust of the people he's trying to save. And that's really the point that Lex proves every time. And to be fair, he is not wrong.
That's not ridiculous. That's not ridiculous to say.
But yeah, that's where this Lex really clicked for me. Every time he went after Superman, it wasn't about throwing a punch. It was about undermining Clark's purpose. That tension reminded me of the arcs in the comics like All-Star Superman, where Lex admits he hates the idea of anyone being above him, or in Birthright, where Lex's brilliance is matched by his bitterness. And this movie gives us a Superman who's trying to inspire and a Lex who's determined to tear that inspiration down. That's the dynamic that makes Superman stories last. I don't remember Superman just for the fights, but because of how he responded when someone like Lex questions whether he should exist at all. Moving on a little from the recent Superman film though, Superman is now confirmed to be coming back to theaters in 2027, and James Gunn is still writing the script currently. The story will put Superman and Lex Luthor on the same side, at least temporarily, but they'll face a bigger threat than either of them can handle alone. Some fans speculate that it might be Brainiac, and that would honestly make perfect sense. Not everybody's happy with that decision, but I don't really mind it if it's true. If Brainiac is involved, that's a cosmic level threat. He's not just a street level villain like how you can kind of compare Lex to. In the comics, Brainiac is the collector of worlds, shrinking civilizations and absorbing knowledge. That's probably going to force Superman to question everything he stands for. How far can he go to save humanity? And that's why Lex's role is so intriguing. Lex has always thought humanity doesn't need gods. Now he has to work with Superman, the very alien he spent his life opposing, to save the world. This dynamic really has so much potential. It's not just about who's stronger or smarter, it's about the ideology, morality, and strategy. If DC captures the intelligence and the charisma that made Lex perfect and pairs him up against a threat like Brainiac, the 2027 film could give us the tension that makes Superman stories unforgettable. So yeah, long story short, Lex Luthor was perfect for me. It's the first time I really felt the weight of his intelligence, and honestly, that's what makes the 2027 movie so exciting. We're finally getting a Superman who isn't just punching villains, but facing someone who forces him to question everything he stands for. If Gunn and DC lean into this tension and Lex keeps the sharp, calculated edge he already has, we could be looking at a very compelling Superman story, especially because David is my favorite live-action Superman, so that's a selling point for me. DC doesn't really need to do too much with him. So yeah, that's all for this video. If you want to hear me ramble on, I have other videos on my channel. And for the 99% of you who just watch my content without subscribing, if you're gonna watch another video, just subscribe. You like me, you know it.
Yo, 8, 4, 12. I got too much money on bail and I ain't going to jail. Yo.